I now have a patch on the inner tube. I'm ready to reinstall this tube into the tire. I need to give this tube a little bit of shape. I can do that on a Presta tube by just opening the valve. Just enough air to give it shape. This is going to prevent any wrinkles and make sure it fits into the tire correctly. So another thing to be concerned about while changing a flat is to inspect the tire. If there's a cut in the tire, which I can see my skin through, I need to patch the tire as well as the inner tube. I can do that with something like a power bar wrapper or a dollar bill between the tire and the inner tube, or I can use a patch just as I did on the inner tube to patch the hole in the tire. I need to address that hole, otherwise it'll cause another flat from the inner tube coming up. So inspect the tire, make sure that the hole isn't so big that you need to address that also. After I have the tire patched, or the inner tube patched, and after having given it a little bit of air, starting at the valve, I'm going to put the tube into the tire. And then again, starting at the valve, I'm going to start putting the tire onto the rim. Making sure the tire's into the tube is in the tire. And you may find it gets difficult at this point on a road bike. A very common mistake will be to use the tire lever as a pry. Don't do that. It can pinch the tube. So rather than doing that, I want you to use the tire lever in a reverse fashion. Remember we used it like this to start with? I'm going to turn it over, put it into the rim, and pull that tire back onto the rim. By doing that, I don't risk pinching the tube. I'm going to reinflate the tire using a CO2 cartridge. Quick, convenient. To use this particular one, I want to close this valve. Open the valve of my inner tube. I'm going to activate the CO2 with a good hard twist, and now use it to fill the tire. About halfway, I want to check and make sure this tire is seating properly. I don't want to put all the air in if it's not going to seat where it's supposed to be. Everything looks in place. Go ahead and open up my CO2 cartridge. Close it. So when the CO2 is emptied into the tire, remove it from the valve, close the valve. The tire is ready to reinsert in the bicycle. Remember, if I haven't done it already, shift to the smallest cog, which I already have. That's going to give me a reference point on where to put the chain. With the chain on the smallest cogs, we lift the rear wheel into the bike. Close the quick release. Close your brake lever. Give it a spin. Make sure you're ready to go. Flat fixed.